Not all rejections are loud. Some are quiet, polite, so gentle, you don't notice you're disappearing. You show up, but the room forgets. You speak, but nothing shifts, and still you stay. Not for love, for memory, a memory of being valued that no longer matches reality. In Stoicism, suffering doesn't begin with what she does. It begins the moment you refuse to see what's already gone. Let's examine the 3 subtle behaviors that don't hurt at first, but slowly erase the man who stays too long. Curiosity fades. She doesn't ask anymore. Not about your day, not about your thoughts, not even about the silences between your words. The questions don't stop because she understands. They stop because she no longer wants to. Curiosity is the soul's invitation to stay, and when it vanishes, presence follows. What remains? Routine, a cold choreography of how was work? Good night. Not out of cruelty, but because what once felt alive now feels obligatory. The danger isn't in her silence. It's in how you tolerate it, how you start shrinking your voice to fit the space she no longer listens to. A man can survive war, but indifference, that's how he forgets he's still alive. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, still questioned himself, nature, and virtue. Because what you no longer question, you no longer value. So ask yourself, when was the last time your mind was a place someone wanted to visit? If the echo stretches too long, you've already crossed the first gate. Affection used to arrive without warning. In the middle of a laugh, a glance, a gentle touch that asks for nothing in return. But now it comes with rules. Say the right thing, perform the right way, and maybe you'll earn her softness. Not love, just a transaction. What once felt like connection now feels like negotiation. You measure your tone, watch her moods, tiptoe around her cold spells, all for a moment of warmth that never lasts. This isn't intimacy, it's training. And the moment you accept affection as a prize, you've become a contestant in a game you were never meant to play. Seneca once said, "It's not the man who gives too little, but the man who expects too much, who is truly poor." But look closely. There's a quiet desperation in a man who once gave freely and now tiptoes for crumbs. That is not masculinity. That is erosion. So ask yourself, when did you start earning what once arrived on its own? Because when affection becomes currency, love is already bankrupt. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't insult. She doesn't mock your dreams. At least not directly. But somehow her tone shrinks your ambition. Her silence makes your presence feel like too much. And the way she responds makes you question if you were ever enough. This isn't the loud kind of disrespect. It's quiet, polished, unspoken, yet it stains everything. You start second-guessing your goals, diluting your opinions, apologizing for your strength. Not because she asked you to, but because the room began to shrink every time you showed up fully. Your boundaries get mistaken for coldness. Your truth feels like a burden. And still, you stay gentle. Not because you're weak, but because you've confused patience with self-erasure. But here's the truth. No matter how calm it sounds, disrespect still rots the foundation, still hollows your dignity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who did the injury." He knew true power isn't in retaliation, but in clarity, in walking away without the need to explain. So ask yourself, when did subtle disrespect become something you just live with? Because by the time it feels obvious, it's already been happening far too long. She didn't lie. She just stopped showing up. The pain wasn't in what she said. It was in what you kept telling yourself after she stopped saying anything at all. You held on, not to love, but to the hope that absence was temporary. That coldness had a reason. That silence still meant something. But silence has a shelf life. Eventually it stops being a space to heal and becomes a grave you lie down in. Still breathing, no anger, no final speech, no need to explain you're leaving. Just one quiet truth. What no longer recognizes your presence no longer deserves your energy. So stay in, walk, and let the space that forgot your worth become the space where you remember it. You were never meant to be tolerated. You were meant to be felt. Welcome to Stoic Courage. Walk on.